Hello everybody and welcome back to Europa, where last episode we took over some territory and I posed a question about what exactly unlawful territory means in Europa. I've never played in the HRE before. I'm familiar with the concept generally, but I'm not super familiar with it overall. I looked it up. Turns out it's basically the same thing as separatism, in that it goes away after 10 years. So you just take a legitimacy hit for about 10 years, and that's about it. So that's not a big deal, all things considered. For right now, I think we need to chill. We've got a major issue financially. So corruption is building up right now. We're rooting out by 0.42. And if we check in here to see what we've got going on there, it's almost entirely overextension. Religious unity is a decent chunk of it too. So that's noted. That basically means that we really should be doing conversions. This is going to cost money. It's going to hurt. That's understood. Our corruption is growing. We have very angry estates, and we absolutely need to do something about that. So let's set an agenda. We should absolutely do this. That'll boost up their opinion at least a little bit. And what do we got? A synagogue or a great synagogue in Rome. And this will get us a base tax in Rome as well. Base production in Jerusalem of at least 7, just getting us a flat 18.81 ducks. So on the one hand, that's pretty tempting. We could do it right now. On the other hand, this is better. So let's take a look at what we've got going on in Roma right now. So right up over here, there are no buildings here currently. So if we wanted to put in a synagogue, that would cost us 102 ducats. But long term, this would be a lot better for us. So unrest here is very high. Very high indeed. Intolerance is a big chunk of that. Okay, so that's noted. We're currently getting no taxes here. This is mostly due to non-accepted culture, intolerance, unrest, clergy is upset, crown land ownership, and local autonomy. So that's not terribly surprising. Local autonomy is decaying. I'm going to do this. Then what I'm going to do is something I probably shouldn't. I'm going to think about debasing the currency here. Yes. I'm going to do this twice. Then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a synagogue here. I want to make sure that we grabbed this. Yes, we did. Okay, so we're going to build the synagogue here. That'll boost our taxes from 0 to 0.16, apparently. That's not bad. And autonomy will drop over time. Unrest will get better. That'll be reasonable. So we've got a little bit of gold at this moment. We're losing about 1 ducat per month, and primarily that's going into army maintenance. Now, we can absolutely drop our army maintenance down to 0, which I'm going to leave it on 1 tick here, so we have a little bit of reinforcement happening. This is going to be very slow. That's understood. We can drop our fleet maintenance to 0. That looks good. And then as far as rooting out corruption goes, honestly, I kind of don't want to do it at all right now. We need to get our economy under control. So to that end, we'll get all of this going. We need to get these cores made. We're going to have a very small amount of income here. This is an incredibly small amount of income, and this is going to be rough. No doubt about it. But this missionary is going to be done pretty quickly. So that looks good. That will help matters significantly. So decline of the merchant classes, sure, that's losing 10 influence. And a royal marriage offer from Ancona, I'm going to accept that. We could sell titles. This is a terrible idea. We want to have more crownland, not less crownland. So we're going to want to absolutely seize land, but we can't do that until 1456. So that's understood. We have a national decision here to build the third temple. We know we can't afford that. So for the moment, that's going to be a negative. We'd love to get advisors in here, but we just don't have the finances yet. So we're going to have to wait a little bit for some of this stuff to finish up. That's absolutely understood. So if we check in on our coring here, we're definitely making solid progress on that. That looks good. And we'll continue to work on our tech. I would like to attack Gaza, but there's the Renaissance spawning. Where did this spawn? Let's go into, hang on, technology, institutions. Renaissance spawned in Capitanata. Okay, so that's not very far from Rome, and we should get it quite quickly. So that seems fine. That's another thing we're going to want to spend money on, of course, and that's absolutely concerning. Our aggressive expansion, it's going to take 22 years for that to go away. We will reach a point where we don't care, but yeah, that's absolutely a problem right now. We have too few rivals at the moment. We could rival France or the Holy Roman Empire, and they're both spicy. We're going to go with France for right now. They're the lesser of the spices, so that's what we'll do for the moment. That's okay. We need to get our economy on track. So what do we get here? Okay, local production efficiency from 1 year. That sounds good. Alliance offer from Lebanon. I'm going to decline that one. We want to take over Lebanon eventually. So that's fine for the moment. And of course, all of this coring is slowly progressing, and that will make matters a lot better for us. Plus 0.51. So we can start actually rooting out corruption a little bit here. We're very slightly negative, but that should be absolutely fine. We're going to see these cores finishing up shortly, and that'll help matters dramatically. So very slightly negative is okay, but there's that base tax in Rome, and that is absolutely fine. We also finished up a core here, so if we go into here, we can see, oh yeah. So we want this to be at minus 0.01 right now. We're not going to work down our corruption very much. Denmark rivaled us. Okay. So that's absolutely noted. And with Roma now potentially actually producing some taxes, yeah, that's looking good. So we got to get our overextension down. That's a big deal. Israeli separatists are brewing up here, and then this is Urbino. That is for Rome. So what I'm actually thinking about doing is boosting the autonomy here, but no. I don't think that's what we should do. So this is in the territory out over here. That's fine. This is a Mamlukian separatist down here. That's 2.8 years away. Damascus is 10.9 years away. So this is absolutely something that we need to handle. I'm going to get these guys placed up in Rome. Like so. So that'll take a couple of trips. That's absolutely fine. There's a core finishing up. 9 noble regiments in Rome. I'm going to actually spend the dip power on that. So we can make a state out over this direction, and we want to do this. And that'll allow us to do full cores out here as well. So that looks good. And these guys are going to be arriving in Rome shortly. So let's see, we're at 70 and 80. That seems okay for now. If we were to boost our army maintenance, we'd be at minus 7.34. How much of this is reinforcement, though? 5.06. Okay, we really need to get these forces reinforced. So we're going to do that for now. And the reason we need that is because we need these guys to be in a good position, right? So that's fine for the moment. Gain 10 prestige at the cost of a stability. I don't think we should do that. Lose 17 ducats. That's going to hurt, but we'll do that for now. Okay, so we're going to head up and have some troops up in Rome. That'll be good. And we can see we're currently net minus 3.23 at this moment. So we're paying a lot less for reinforcing our armies now, but it's still kind of bad. So we need to come up over here and get these guys crushed. That shouldn't be a big deal. Okay, now the question is, how are those Urbino separatists going? Okay, so this is going to be a little painful for us because these now need to get reinforced, right? And that's rough. Financially, we're having some serious issues at this moment. We do still have a loan, and we're probably going to have to take another one for the time being, because reinforcing that is going to be tough. But we have to have our army maintenance up right now because of these guys. So for now, this is okay. Local production efficiency plus 10% for a year. That's nice. So we're going to take a loan here. That's absolutely understood. Finances are a problem. Okay, so there's that bank loan. And how are we doing on the rabbis? They're at 21 at this point. The equilibrium is 29.4. So we absolutely need to add some privileges here. And, I mean, rabbi land grants would be nice. Governing capacity, we'd lose some crownland for this. So what we really want to do is things like oversight by the rabbis. So we're going to boost that up. That puts our equilibrium at 39.8. Missionary strength is not a bad thing either. I'm going to grant that, putting the equilibrium at 44.8. Let's see. Here's more missionary strength. That would cause us to lose some crownland. What else do we want here? Prestige per development for missionary. Cost of missionary reduction. So I'm going to put this privilege in. That'll be fine. We still need to boost their opinion by a decent amount. So I'm going to grant them land rights, which hurts our crownland. And nobility is currently equilibriumed at 46, and this is equilibriumed at 31. Okay, that's fine. I really, really want to get that missionary cost reduction. So that was, where was that? Here we go. Missionary maintenance cost. We can't actually, oh, we granted that one. Never mind. I wanted the missionary strength then. So we'll do this as well. That's additional crownland, which hurts a lot, but that's understood. So they're now going to have an equilibrium of 56.8. That's good. And they are at an influence level of 53.7 right now, but that'll drop. That seems okay for now. Okay, nobility. So we don't want to give them any crownland. We only need to boost them up by, like, 5. Increased levies would be okay, but I don't want to do that. Military advisor cost is pretty interesting. Stability cost modifier increased, but, I mean, we could just give them right of counsel. That'll be enough for now. Is there anything else in here that we really want? I mean, nobility land rights would be nice, but we need to have crownland for that. So the Merchant Guild is at 31.3 for their equilibrium, and we need to boost that quite a lot. So to that end, what do we want to do here? Well, patronage of the arts would not be ideal. We could just give them free enterprise. That's, well, kind of free. 41.3, so we need to raise this by at least 10% more. Control over monetary policy may be actually a good thing here. Interest per annum reduction, yearly inflation reduction, and production efficiency. Honestly, this is probably worth 5% power cost. I'm going to grab that, and that seems absolutely wonderful. So that puts them at 46.3. Light ship cost and ship trade power. That's great if I'm going to make ships, but, you know, this is me we're talking about. So maybe not so much. Let's see. Well, I think we should probably do it, actually. Yeah, we'll give them this, and we'll revisit this later on and see if we want to do any more. But for now, this'll do. We want to get that crownland taken back, of course. We just gave a bunch of crownland to the rabbis. But that means that everybody can bring that up over 50. So that's a very, very good thing. We can convert provinces to Jewish, which we should definitely be doing. And we're going to do whatever is cheapest, to be honest. So what's our current financial balance looking like? Okay. So that's kind of grim. No doubt about that. We need to get this done. These guys are at 80% right now. So they're at 9K. If we were to provoke this revolt, they would have 14 regiments. I think for now, we're just going to chill. So for this moment, that seems reasonably okay. They went up to 90, so now they have a 17.7% chance of popping every month. And there they are. Perfect. That's exactly the timing that I was hoping for. Excellent. So we got that dealt with, and now, of course, we would need to replenish these troops, but I'm just going to drop that army maintenance right on down. We'll park it right there. So rooting out corruption is currently going up right now. We'd want it to be about here to be fully rooting it out. Why is it going up? Overextension and religious unity. Okay, so we're working on both of those. Overextension is going to be finished soon. Yeah, it's 80% done. So that's going to be a big boost for us. I like it. What do we got going on here? We'll solve this ourselves, I think. Actually, hang on. Estate statutory rights would be granted to nobility, which does the following. The land controlled by our estates changes. Rabbis minus 5.78, nobility minus 18.57, merchant guilds minus 5.65, minimum autonomy of 25. We'll solve this ourselves. I don't think I want to do that, although it was tempting. But that minimum autonomy, oof, that's rough. No doubt about that. So once our overextension is dealt with, we'll be in a much better position here. And our religious unity will continue to improve, of course, as we get these conversions done. So this is going to be done pretty quickly as well. That looks good for now. So we're just chilling for the moment, trying to get our finances a little bit more in order here. And the question is, hypothetically, we don't have the money to do this, but hypothetically, if we were to build synagogues, there are a couple of good locations. Okay. That's definitely noted. Okay, so we'll recall our diplomat from Medina. That's fine. Over here in Sharkia, that's going to be done very, very soon. It's 95% complete now. So that's going to be a big, big swing on our corruption expenses. Mamlukian separatists down over here. Ah, I wasn't expecting them yet. So that's going to be done on 10 March. That's so close. But we definitely need to bring some forces in over here. So that's going to be awkward. We are not going to have that continue for a while. So that's okay. But we're going to need to bring our forces over. So that, of course, means that we need to raise up our army maintenance, which is just going to sit here for now. And we're going to need to let this regenerate a little bit. Now, a lot of this money is going up here. So that's fine for now. And I'm just checking in to see if they're moving anywhere. They're not currently. Ah, hang on. That's really good for us. Okay, so now we can drop our army maintenance back down. Because they're going to go die to Cairo. I love it. Is that even Cairo? Yeah, that's Cairo. Okay, so now we can just transport over here with no problem. So there's a bar mitzvah going on for our heir. Okay, we could spend lavishly. The rabbis would gain 15 loyalty. Don't go overboard. The rabbis would gain 10 loyalty. They'd lose 5 loyalty or lose 10 loyalty. This is a lot of money. That said, the rabbis would get a lot happier. And the rabbis are what's causing us to have this modifier. So that's pretty painful. Boosting up the rabbi opinion is not a bad thing. I'm going to do that. We need to spend money to make money. That's what's happening here. So we're going to take a loan. That's absolutely understood. We're going to get this back and get that cored. Perfect. So this is going to be cored very, very soon here. And then we'll move back over here. Looks great. So we're currently still net negative financially, but this core will finish up very shortly. There we go. So that looks good. And we can see our legitimacy is now going up. So apparently, yeah, unlawful territory is no longer a thing at this point. That's interesting because it seems like it should still be a thing if it's a 10-year timer, but okay, whatever. We're going to make this into a territory. Yeah, it's going to cost us maintenance every month, but ultimately it will be worth it because we want to get this autonomy to come up. It's actually currently going down due to Crownland ownership. Okay. That's absolutely noted. Cannot be lower than 50% due to colonial core. We should have just full cored it. Okay, yeah, that updated, but it was at basically 50%. So that's fine. So minus 0.4 is where we are right now. So we can reduce our rooting out of corruption to be about here, and that puts us at minus 0.06. Okay. So I'm thinking about debasing a couple more times. And I'm going to do it. Yes, this is going to be painful. We're going to have to pay for it later. But we need to get some constructions going. Specifically, Jerusalem. And I'm going to debase one more time. Because we need to build again here. Those are absolutely necessary. We have to get those done. Okay, so we're about to finish up our missionary work here. That's good. But we absolutely need to get these synagogues built. So there's that conversion finished. Next up, we can go to Damascus, which will boost our religious unity. That looks good. And this is, of course, going to cost us money per month to maintain. It's painful. No doubt about that. But as we get these conversions complete, and as we get these constructions complete, things are going to get better for us, and we'll start to be able to pay off our debt and pay off our corruption. Note that I'm preferring corruption over debt because we can control how quickly we pay that off, as opposed to debt where we just have to pay the interest rate. So we just lost our general that was up over here. For now, I'm not terribly concerned about that. I'm wondering about the status of... okay. Next year. No. It's because we haven't embraced Renaissance. Okay. That's fine. So no issue there. The main problem right now remains financial. And we'll get these synagogues finished up. That will help matters significantly. I want to see if we can do anything here. Not quite yet. Not until next year. Okay. We're making progress on that front. So the rabbis are now boosting our tax modifier. That's a 30% switch, because it was minus 15% before, I think, or 7.5, one of those. So we renewed a bank loan. That's not shocking. And now we can grab a military technology, which we're going to do. Absolutely. We're going to grab this. So that seems great. That gives us access to Eastern Militia, which is good for now. Now, we could definitely think about boosting our production in Jerusalem, and I'm actually strongly considering it. This is a good use of diplomatic power, I think. This would boost our production income monthly by 0.04. I'm strongly considering it. That said, we do want to have basic financial instruments eventually. Trade efficiency and trade range. Yeah, I'm not terribly concerned about trade right now. Speaking of which, we do have two merchants, but they are just automatically deployed. Okay. We'll probably check in on those pretty soon. What are we making from trade? Anyway, 0.76. Let's see how they are deployed. So currently we have a merchant that is forwarding trade to the Alexandria node from the Aleppo node. And where's our other merchant at? Up over here, collecting trade in Genoa. We're earning 0.35 there. And 0.4 here. Okay, I'm just thinking about how the trade is flowing. We probably want to make the Genoa trade node be our trade capital, to be honest. So Rome should be our trade capital. That'll cost some diplomatic power, but I'm okay with that. So with that being our main thing there, we're going to recall this guy because this automatically collects in that node. So now what we want to do is we want to come down here and we want to transfer that power from the Alexandria trade node over to the Genoa trade node, which this is currently doing. If we had more merchants, I would argue that we would want to send it up to the Constantinople trade node and then to the Ragusa trade node, from there over to the Genoa trade node. But as it is right now, this will be fine. Okay, so we're transferring that over, and let's see how much we earn here. We're not currently getting much of this, so 0.81, that's still a little boost. Heavy on the little. So that's understood. Over here in Rome, I'm wondering, this natural harbor is going to cost 204 to upgrade. Okay. We should probably work on some of that. We have an unassigned merchant? Really? Oh, this merchant was unassigned. Okay. Yeah, let's just put it here for now. And transfer it like that. Okay. So let's let this happen for a month tick and see what that puts us at. We don't have a very efficient trade setup here right now, but 0.88. That's better. We're actually making money for the moment, which is slightly remarkable. I want to check in on our rooting out of corruption. Ah, we can dial that back a little bit, and we should do that. Okay. So all of this money right now, we're mostly interested in putting into getting more money. So that's going to be the goal for the next little while. Here we need to work on our economy, and we're letting our aggressive expansion drop a little bit here. It has dropped to 38, so we can probably do some shenaniganery like going after Lebanon. That's maybe something we can think about doing. But for now, I think we should definitely work on our economy. It's a little precarious. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.